Our favorite Loki carries the burden of a noble purpose, the glorious purpose. Now you might be thinking, but didn't he already achieve that? Well, not really. This incredible character can still go to levels that fans can't even imagine yet. First up, we need to understand this character is no longer bound. We got almost all the details in the finale of Loki Season 2. And the reason his story won't end in Doomsday, that's already been laid out. It's because Loki now exists beyond the concept of time. Loki has gone beyond time's boundaries, and that became possible when he learned to control his time-slipping ability. Remember that moment in Season 2's finale? Everything was falling apart. Every possibility, every timeline, all of it. Universes and the people tied to them were getting erased. But Loki? He stood there and watched, untouched. He watched Sylvie being erased right before his eyes. Even space, that abstract concept, was vanishing. But Loki remained. Why? Because of time slipping. He's no longer bound by time. He can move through multiple timelines and act within them, but he's not under their control. And when he understood this, he realized the multiverse can only be held together by someone who exists outside time itself. So Loki made himself the custodian of the multiverse. Now let me tell you something powerful. Loki can't die easily, because death is an event. It happens at a specific point in space and time. But since Loki's existence isn't tied to time anymore, that makes his death nearly impossible. But here's where your next question probably comes in. What's Loki's role in Doomsday and Secret Wars? Let's go to the next point. Loki has to transcend even narratives now. So in Doomsday, imagine Doctor Doom reaching Loki, and maybe some other heroes tracking Doom arrive too. By that point, Loki has understood that something bigger is at play, a force that's allowing events to unfold in a specific way. To understand this mysterious force, Loki decides he has to go even further, and for that, he might have to step down as the custodian of the multiverse. Because at that point, he'll realize, if I can understand this absolute force, maybe I'll be able to stop much greater threats in the future. Now, what is this force? This is where things go a bit meta. We're talking about narrative itself, the force that executes the writer's will, the one that decides how a story progresses. Loki could realize that Doctor Doom showing up and winning was already written into the story. So he sets off on a journey, not just through space and time, but through stories themselves, and on this journey he becomes the god of stories. This transformation is crucial to the multiverse's destruction and rebirth in Secret Wars. Even in the comics, the god of stories, Loki comes from the seventh multiverse, a multiverse that got destroyed in Secret Wars. Technically, everything should have ended in that collapse. But Loki didn't die. This made him an anomaly. He shouldn't exist, but he does. And because he doesn't belong to the current multiverse, he's completely free. He has no part to play in the stories of this new world. Which means he can go anywhere, do anything. He's so beyond narrative that he could, if he wanted to, leave the Marvel Universe entirely. I know you might think I'm joking, but I'm not. Even Deadpool has this kind of power, to break the fourth wall and step outside the narrative. So now you've got a glimpse of how the god of stories Loki is an absolutely free character. He only stays in Marvel for stories and adventures, and occasionally, when things get really bad, he steps in to help. So then what should happen next with Loki's story? How should Loki Season 3 look? Imagine this, a story about the god of stories, a being who can't be hurt, who can't be killed, and who's now traveling across stories to understand them. That's why I believe Loki Season 3 should be an anthology series. Each episode could be its own standalone story, where Loki dives into a different kind of narrative, learns something from it, and grows. Some episodes could be epic, some dangerous, and others just mind-blowingly creative. We'd see Loki learning to create stories, shaping narratives himself, and realizing that maybe all of us, heroes and villains, were just characters and stories created to entertain. And believe me, once a character understands that, their stories get even more interesting. Because then as long as the narrative exists, they can't be erased. It's very similar to Rick and Morty, where Rick kind of knows he's in an animated show, and nothing can truly hurt him. Marvel can't usually go due to established narratives and foundations, but Loki, he's free from all that. He can explore everything. And if this character arc takes the direction we've been talking about, then there's no better way to explore Marvel's higher concepts. Imagine Loki finding cosmic beings across higher and higher dimensions. Beings who might help him understand narrative, who creates it, and how it works. And maybe in this journey, he reaches the Beyonders. And finally, the one above all. In doing so, Loki becomes the perfect medium to explore Marvel's most meta, cosmic, and philosophical ideas. He's strong enough to survive, smart enough to seek the truth, and free enough to go where no one else can. He could even help introduce new threats, like in the Defenders Beyond comics, where the god of stories Loki was called upon to investigate the threat of Enigma, tied to the 8th multiverse. Loki has all the potential to become that one unstoppable deity in the MCU, and fans would love to see where his story goes from there, because honestly, right now, Loki is at the peak of his character growth in the entire MCU. Just look at Bucky. He's come so far and now he's leading the Thunderbolts. Imagine if War Machine got the same level of attention in Arc. So, what do you think about Loki's next journey as the God of Stories? Let us know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel.